Okay, this may have been the key. Oh my goodness. Okay, we changed the bit rate way down. Yeah, I'm watching the stream just to see if it's actually working. Okay, we're good. We're good. We had the wrong settings. We had the totally wrong settings. So I'm gonna wait for you guys to get back on, and then we'll actually run this. So let me just get on here and let people know that we're actually back on. Okay, I think we got it. We got it. I don't think it's going to be great quality from here on out, but that's okay. We know that because I'm running on a MacBook Air. So, how does it look for you guys now? It should be good. If you are, if anyone's here, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. Oh man, it's like this is gonna be crazy. Trying to get all these details in travel right. Um, the stream current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit. We recommend you use a bit rate of 25. I can't use 2500. I tried, it didn't work. Um, yeah. Sorry, YouTube, didn't work. Um, it's just because YouTube, I'm using a MacBook Air. I'm gonna wait for. Let me know, guys, how it's looking for you. If there's anyone here right now, I'll wait for the others to come back in. I apologize that we had to jump off like that, but I am. Let me just see real quick what it looks like on mobile as well. Um, I don't know how it shows me. Oh, there it is. So it shows you right away. Okay. Wow, it actually works really well. It looks great. I don't know why the bit rate they recommend it be at 2500 if I can't run at 2500. Maybe it's just a recommendation. It's still a little bit laggy on my phone. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's okay. This is all going to be part of. I thought I had it. I thought I had it all down. Thought I had everything done, but I didn't. So I'm going to give it. So we're 11:20. We're starting late. I'll give it a couple more minutes for people to come back in. Um, my wife's just telling me, "Hey, text me." We had some business stuff going on in the background that's been absolutely crazy, and so she's the one that takes care of a lot of that stuff for me. Um, and so she just wrapped something up that was like pretty crucial in this crazy world. So she takes a lot of the business pressure off my shoulders of the back end stuff. Smooth as eggs. There we go, baby. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Allegiant. I am getting. It is funny though because I'm getting a warning on YouTube that my bit rate's too low. But I don't think I can get it to run any better if I'm going to be traveling unless I have a more powerful laptop. Maybe I should. Although the new MacBook Air's processing power is actually pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So I think we got that figured out. I think we got that figured out. We'll give it a couple minutes for. I'm going to do a couple more minutes, and then I'm just going to go. I'm just going to rant. I'm going to go on and on and on about what this is going to be, what the show, how the show is going to work, what it's going to mean, what the month of June is going to look like, because we've had so much going on for the last, man, about 2 months since we come up with this idea. So let's do this. I'm gonna just we'll just kind of ramble here. If anyone has any questions, how are things down in Houston, Allegiant? If anyone is watching, and does see this, like in other episodes. I'm going to get into every reason why I'm doing this, why I'm doing it on YouTube, what's going to be happening, and all of that. But if you're watching this later, definitely go check out Allegiant if you're in the Houston area. Those guys rock. What's great about those guys down there, I'll just do a shout out, is that if you're a high end streamer, gamer, or serious about it, I should say that if you're serious about it, then you and you want to test out peripherals. What does this camera look like? How does this keyboard feel? Well, how does this mouse move? That's what they do. Not to mention they have the world's biggest. You guys have the world's biggest collection of of G Fuel. So. So we had once I get started here, we're going to give it until 11:25, and then I'm just going to go. I'm going to go full speed, and let you guys know everything that's going on. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I just came up with a brand new thing that I'll talk about probably at the end of the stream. A brand new thing that I'm going to do. We're going to pull it off. It's going to be crazy. Well, I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint right now. We're going to call it StreetCon. It's going to be next year. It's going to be crazy. So I'm going to go to 11:25. We'll see if anyone else gets back in, and then I'm just going to roll. And you're going to find out very quickly that this is not your average esports podcast, vlog, any of that. This is going to be very different in what we're doing. And so but again, I'm going to wait another minute. And then I'm just going to do it. We're going to go. Rain, at least it's not burning hot. Just saw our Twitter this morning. It was nice. Who was walking in my door? Someone just walked across my lawn. This is the part of the problem of being at home. Someone just walked across my lawn. I'm guessing they're putting door hangers around. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. For those of you that don't live in Texas, or even if you do, Texas has the craziest weather I've ever seen in any place I've ever lived. We've been here like 17 years now. And it changes. Like it may tell you it's going to be pouring rain for an hour, and then 20 minutes later, it's like raging hot. I would, at this point, I'm going to tell you, I would rather take the heat than I would take this endless pouring rain. I feel like I live in Seattle or Scotland or something. It's crazy. But I'm not in Houston, and I don't have all that humidity either. So you guys have to rock not only the heat, but the humidity. All right, listen, let's get started. I don't know who else will come in. We'll see if people do. The big thing about this is also going to be that this will be able to be watched, and I'll trim some of this as we get it ready for YouTube. So let me just kind of give you the broad picture, okay? When I came up with the concept for the Great Esports Street Tour, I felt like I had to do a ton of testing. And so I went down to Houston. I met with Noah and these guys at Allegiant. Amazing. I met with several other people, came back along the way, met with a bunch of people. And over the course, I'm going to really condense things just for the sake of time so I can tell you the really exciting stuff. Over the course of that tour, or of that kind of beta test of going down and kind of seeing how I wanted to roll with the Great Esports Street Tour, I realized we had to rebrand. I realized I had to come up with a very structured template on how I was going to do content. I realized that I had to be much more clear on the objective of the tour, which is thus we came out with the 1 million people hat. I had to make sure that it was from someone looking from the outside. They had to be able to look at the content of everything, what I was putting out on TikTok, what I was putting out on all socials, what was on the website, and all of that had to be very consistent. The message had to be very clear. Okay, so I expected to have been on the road by this time, but I just wasn't happy with any of the structure that we had put in place. And so that was the kind of pullback from the actual trip of getting started, because I wanted to make sure that that was clear. I don't want some person or anyone being able to, or coming into the stream, coming into the material, coming into the content, having any doubt about what we're doing. And so that took a lot of work. I mean, hundreds of hours of me researching, posting, and you've seen me put all kinds of content out. Starting today, things are going to get very specific. Now, let me just break down kind of how this is going to go. This show, I guess we call it a show. The Street Tour. It's really the Street Tour. It's really Street Talk of the Street Tour, right? The Great Esports Street Tour. This is going to be very minimalistic. It's not going to be some super highly produced quality stream that you're used to if you've watched any of my streams at all, that you've seen, right? I mean, I'm not bringing special lighting. I have a battery operated light because I could be in a hotel in Pakistan. I could be, outside in Nigeria. I could be, who knows where. So I have to make sure that I can operate this show as minimally as I possibly can, right? And so that's the real purpose there. So it's never going to be super great video quality because I'm running off a MacBook Air. I'm also trying to be very, very, very mobile, right? Because part of what's going to happen along the course of this tour is that we're going to be highly mobile, going from person to person, to place to place to place to place, and all of that. Okay, so that's why the stream quality, if you're used to seeing my streams, don't look like what my streams have normally been. I get it. It's just going to be minimal because of that, because of the travel. So we have the rebranding. You guys have seen we have the Great Esports Street Tour. This is the jersey. You guys can find all of the Street Tour merch, and there'll be much more coming at Skulls Gear. I think I put a link. There's a link on the website, StreetTacoEater.com, StreetTacoEater.com, and more details will be there. I'll be putting a ton of new stuff out there today. We'll talk about that a little bit here in a second. So that's kind of what's gone on. Okay, now let's get into why this show is going to be different and what's going to happen here. I've had a lot of conversations over the last couple of years about esports. For those of you that aren't aware, I did open an esports venue. That was a development venue called Delta V Esports. We opened it. It was supposed to open April 1st of last year. And then March 17th, I think it was, of last year, we got the notification from our county that COVID restrictions were put in place and we were not going to be able to open. So I began creating content, streaming, and we eventually moved out of that facility because there was a new owner and we were able to do it, which was a real blessing. Then I was over at the esports stadium, Arlington. Those guys invited me to come over and we did some great things there for a few months, but I came up with this idea of the Street Tour. In all of that time and all the conversations and things that I've been talking about, what was happening was let me qualify this and make sure that I want people to be very clear. I'm extremely excited that the top 1% of esports, right? The Ray Davises, the Jerry Jones, the Mark Cubans, the Nade Shot with 100 Thieves, all of that high-end stuff of esports, regardless of how much it suffered over the course of COVID and whatnot, I'm grateful that venues, teams, people, investors have all of that working. We absolutely have to have that. But the thing for me, where my heart goes, is to the people that want to be a part of that world. Those of us that want to have a life in or a career in gaming and esports. I talk specifically about esports because esports is really the pinnacle kind of representation of what's going on in gaming, right? So when you hear me talk about esports, I'm including gaming as a big part of it, but esports specifically because that's the sports entertainment side of it. So I don't want to, when we talk about how people make money in esports, I know there are tons of ways that people can make money in other things, but you'll hear me talk pretty much exclusively about esports. Okay. My issue in starting Delta V Esports was that there was this huge disconnect between someone says, I want to make money in esports, I want to have a career in esports. How do I get there, right? And there's no real pathway to get there. So I'm not going to talk about that. The point I'm making is what we're going to talk about on this show every day, from depending on where we are in the world, is about the ways in which people that we talk to are making money in esports. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that into content that you can consume so that you can begin to understand, one, the reality of it, two, what it is that they have done or are doing to make it happen, so that three, you can reverse engineer it and apply it into your own plan. There are so many pieces of what I got incredibly tired of, and I'll rant about this a lot, is, again, I started by saying I'm grateful I'm grateful that the 1% of what's going on in the world of esports with investing and teams and venues and all of that, I'm grateful that it's there. But I think it's become somewhat disingenuous by a lot of people that want to exploit what's happening in esports. And the conversations that I was having from Clubhouse to Hi-Ho to different things, there are a lot of great platforms out there for communicating. A lot of the conversations I started having or started being a part of were people that were trying to find some niche to carve out, and they're talking all the big business stuff, and they're, I'm going to invest this and blockchain and cryptocurrency and all these, and it became really boring to me. It became really boring because it was never answering. It was all about these big business opportunities that were to be had in esports. And please continue. I want them. I want there to be that there. But my heart is with you. My heart is with the people that want to have an opportunity to earn an income and or have a career in esports, okay? And that's what the Great Esports Street Tour is all about. That's my main focus. It's communication and building community. I've never been a big corporate guy. I've always been kind of independent. I've always been a blue collar guy. I was raised by a single mom. I didn't grow up with any kind of money. And my heart always lies with the hardworking people that are looking to have an opportunity to do something. And so it's a bit of a mission because there's so many people. I talk to people all over the world every day that leave comments and reach out to me about how much they are just desperate or passionate about wanting to have a career. And they just don't know how to do it. So everything we talk about, if you are an investor in esports, and you want to start a big venue or you want to do something, probably not content for you. If you are, unless you want to sponsor the tour, and we're going to be doing, I'm going to apologize right up front, guys. We're going to be doing a full month push on generating the revenues we need for this. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But that being said, these conversations are for you. These conversations are for us and for this community to be able to work together and share the connections, the networking, the tools, the ideas, the stories, the actual boots on the ground stuff. I don't want, there's so many things out there. So many people want to connect people with opportunity. This isn't Indeed.com or Monster.com or any of that. What I'm talking about is that we're going to have live, engaging conversations. I'm only going to talk with people that are making money in esports. I shouldn't be that exclusive. Maybe I shouldn't say only. Maybe I shouldn't say only. Primarily, and in the most part, it's going to be people in some way that are making money in esports. And I don't care what spectrum it is. Had an awesome conversation. You saw me do a piece of content with Chantel Boucher. And then, you didn't see, you saw pictures, or I think I did, with Sia, the podcast producer. That whole, what those guys are doing at Esports Future Eye Podcast Network, I have to make sure I get it right. I think that's it. I think I got it right. Is fantastic. And those people are making money in the world of esports by creating a podcast network. I talked with, if you saw Smash Puff the other night, last week at the tournament that was held at the Esports Stadium Arlington, I did a quick little piece with him. Why would I do that? Because he finished second place in a Smash Brothers tournament. Here's a young man, probably actually one of the best, arguably, apparently, in the world, Jigglypuff players on Smash Brothers. He made money in the last 30 days or so. He has actually apparently made, $200 or $300, I think, in prize winnings. And so he's making money in esports. Okay. And we just kind of share that. And I didn't go into like a real episode with him, but we definitely will. More of that in the future. Okay. Now, so the content here is going to be raw, it's going to be rough, but it's going to be always, 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 always pragmatic. I want you to understand that the content I'm delivering, I'm not trying to sell you a course. I'm not trying to, there's merch, and I'm going to ask, we're going to talk about how we're going to raise funds over this next month, but this is going to be the stories. Like, for example, I've had so many amazing contacts in the last couple of months on LinkedIn from all over the world. So if I head to, the head of esports in Nigeria, I don't have his name off the top of my head. We connected a month or so ago. He's fairly new. I want to go meet with him. when we get to Nigeria and all of the people that are working hard to build esports there so that people can make money. Cameroon, the young man that reached out from there, he wants to build a development program. I want you to be able to experience what those people are doing. And that story just goes on and on and on, all over South Africa, all over, Western and Eastern Europe. And so the content here is not going to be, well, the latest news in esports is going to be, it's just not. There's plenty of places to go get news. Or, how is it you do marketing in esports? Very valuable, but it's not going to be talked about here. Anything that is purely informational is at that kind of level on the business side of esports is pretty boring to me. And so what we're really going to do here is make sure that the content we're sharing is, I want you to get off of every piece of content, after looking at it, and I want you to go, I can use that right now in helping me get closer to being able to have an income in esports. That's it. Not go to the webinar, pay for this, buy that, come to my course. No, none of that. I want to make as much of this free as I possibly can over the course of this year. So that's why the show is going to be very different. We're not going to be talking about, what's the latest with Dr. Disrespect and the lawsuit with Twitter, who's going to be the best streamer. We're not going to talk about, FaZe has been putting out who should be our first new person to sign. Listen, there's plenty, like I said, plenty of websites and plenty of podcasts and plenty of vlogs and plenty of content about that. This is about you guys. This is about what we can do together in building opportunity for everyone and sharing every idea. That community is much more valuable, much more important to me. So don't expect esports news here. Don't expect, my opinion on what's happening in the general world of esports at a business level. There will be times when I talk with people when I'll share certain things. But it all has to boil down to exactly a tangible, pragmatic, meaning practical thing you can use that day, this day, today, to know that you can move closer to making money in esports. So the whole focus of the Great Esports Street Tour is to find the people that are doing it, share their stories, build community where we can communicate regularly about it, put out as much content as I can possibly put out a day to help you answer every question that comes through. So let me shift to that next thing, and then we'll talk about kind of where we're going from here. I don't want this to be, I want this to be kind of a half-hour show, but we obviously got started late with these technical things and whatnot. So where was I going to go with that? This will be another thing you'll see. You'll see me kind of, my mind starts racing. Shoot, I don't remember. Okay, let's talk about what's going to happen for the next month and what the schedule is and what's going on. Okay, so first of all, in the month of June, I'm going to apologize and not apologize because I am going to have a massive push to get this funded. In two ways. We'll be launching a Kickstarter. I'll make tons of announcements about that. And there'll be all kinds of different, depending on the level at which you donate, there'll be different things associated. I'm gonna talk to as many sponsors as we possibly can, as many people as we can to get sponsors. So we want to have, essentially this 1 year trip is probably gonna cost us about $150,000. So, but I want to make, from donations or sponsorships, have it be incredibly valuable. Now, before I get to that, I just remembered something I want to talk about. This right here, the 1 million people. Over the course of this next year, my entire focus in what we're doing is to help 1 million people in some way, move forward to having the ability or to making money in esports. 1 million people over the course of this year. Now, I'm not going to track it officially in the sense of, please tell me, I hope you do. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. We'll get back to, but 1 million people, that's the objective. I want to help 1 million of us make some money in the next year in esports so that you know that you can do it. Because if you've made some money in some way, in esports, gotten a job, did some content, did some contract work, whatever it is, if you've made some money in esports over the course of this next year, you can make more. That's going to be the big target. I wanted to make the point too, guys, that this community, I don't want any of this to be one-sided. I read every single comment that comes through. I respond to almost every single comment in all of the social platforms that comes through. To me, that's the most important and most critical thing. So that being said, please engage. This is not, I don't want you just to consume. I don't want you to feel awkward or uncomfortable if you have questions or concerns, or if you're, I don't want you to feel anything but completely 100% comfortable here. I want you to be able to engage, because where else do you get to go where you get to ask questions, especially when we're talking to people all over the world and we're sharing information. So please engage. Okay, so let me give you some other backgrounds here. So the 1 million people. All right, we're gonna have a Kickstarter. And part of what I wanna do, okay, I'm gonna make this announcement on this so I'm reading, it was an old comment. I thought it was a new one. Okay. Next year, I'm going to announce right now, next July, we don't have any of the details worked out, but I know exactly what I want to do. We're going to do StreetCon. And as I envision it right now, everyone that has a ticket to StreetCon is going to be able to, so it's going to be, we're going to do a con. We're going to do, it may be 20 people show up. I don't know. It may be 10,000. I mean, I really don't know. It's going to be an event to bring together the people that want to make money in esports. So part of the 1 million people that have learned to, they'll be able to attend. There'll be so many details coming out. I'll talk about it regularly. So many details coming out over the next year about what it is. Okay, now, so to kind of wrap this up, stay tuned. This month, in the month of June, I am going after the ability to fund this trip. Now that we know exactly what we're doing in terms of branding, we know the content structure, we know all of that. So two things. There will be a Kickstarter. I want to raise $50,000 on the Kickstarter. And what I envision right now, I'm going to work a lot of these details out today. Okay, so stay tuned on the website, streettacoeater.com. A lot of what I want to do is, like, for example, if you donate $5, you can receive, this. If you, one thing I just realized, I hate not having my wedding ring on. I hate that. I take it off at night. Total tangent. So for example, if you donate $50 to the Kickstarter, then you have a ticket to StreetCon 2022. If you donate, like $100, you'll get a t-shirt. If you donate $250, you get a jersey. If you donate $500, or something, you get a backpack, so on and so forth. So, but everyone $50 and above will have a ticket to StreetCon. And I think I have lots of ideas we're going to work with. That will be a super, super cool event. Unlike other kinds of esports events that you've ever been to or thought, this is going to be very different, but it'll be July of 2022. So you're going to hear a lot of content over the next month. I'm going to apologize, but not apologize for the fact that that's going to be the case. That we're going to be talking a lot about, fundraising. So hold on real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I had to use the restroom, actually. So, this next month, big push. I think one thing I'm going to do as well on those people that donate at different levels, maybe the $5 donation gets you into the private Discord so that you can be part of a group that is actually committed to, wanting to to have a career in income in esports. Okay, so I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up. We had, with the technical issues and whatnot, I kind of got out the basic thing that I wanted to say. So let me just wrap up, guys. Number one, I'm incredibly grateful, incredibly humbled at all the outreach of all the people that have been a part of what we have been doing from this point. My advisory board, my board of directors, people behind the scenes, my wife, and so many of you that have been super supportive and patient as we have been ramping this all up. I feel very, very humbled and very grateful that this is an opportunity that can actually come to be. Please know in everything that we're going to do here that this is about you. I don't have an ego in this. I know I seem like it's all about me, that I'm just another one of these guys. It's not. And you're going to see that over time. So I'm going to ask that you share, like, subscribe, follow everything. If you don't have the ability to donate to our Kickstarter, please don't feel like you're not welcome or you can't be a part of this. This is just the way that we're going to fund this until we can build enough revenue from our content to not need that anymore. I'm going to give away as much free as I can. I mean, 99% of what I'm doing, I'm giving away, just the information, because that's what's most valuable in all of this. That's why this show's going to be different. That's why the content's going to be different. So just know, guys, this is about you. This is just 100% about you. I'm just willing to go out there, do the work, take the hits, deal with, all the things that have to happen to make this be a reality, because I deeply, passionately want you guys. Listen, the other side of it too is I have kids that would love to be part. My wife and I have 6 kids. And a couple of them would very much love to be in the world of content creation, esports, and all of that. And that's a big driver for me as well. So I need you to follow, like, subscribe, make sure you set alerts. Don't miss anything. This show is going to be going on Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11:30. I will repost it on YouTube, of course, which is why I'm streaming on YouTube. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Apologize for the technical issues, and please stay tuned for content. Please be involved and get ready for a crazy, wild ride of everything that we're doing on the Great Esports Street Tour. Love you guys. Stay with it. Don't give up on the dreams. We're going to do some great stuff together. We'll talk soon.